Macron is set to visit Africa this week as Paris attempts to restore its influence following a series of military and political setbacks. Macron's four-nation tour will take him to Gabon, Angola, Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The president is set to deliver a speech on his strategy to deepen the partnership with African countries ahead of his trip later Monday. This comes as anti-France sentiment is running high in some of France's former colonies in Africa. Last week, France withdrew its forces from Burkina Faso after its government ended an accord that allowed French military presence. Mali has also ended its military cooperation with France after 10 years, giving its place to Russian military contractors. Jonathan Offei-Ansah is a publisher at Africa Briefing who joins us from London. Jonathan Offei-Ansah, welcome. When you take a look at France and now its president wanting to get back into Africa, it's somewhat similar in a sense with the U.S. It's on the back foot. Of course, France has had more setbacks than the U.S., but France doesn't want to lose its foothold. But do you think it's a little late for that? Do you think that the French president's visit is going to reestablish its presence the way that he intends to?
Well, yes and no. When you talk about the Sahel, especially Mali and Burkina Faso, he has lost all influence. Okay? And we talk about Central African Republic, he has lost influence there. Or France has lost influence there as well. So what Macron is trying to do is to sort of recalibrate, its relations with Africa by getting involved. Because on this visit, impending visit, it's going to take part in a forest-free conference in the Gabon, and also talk about the arts. So it is sort of trying to recalibrate its influence, in another way.
When you take a look at the intentions that are, and I hate to keep bringing up the U.S. in this conversation, but the U.S. Has pushed for its presence to be felt in Africa, but they are very honest in saying that one of the reasons behind that is to push back the influence that China has, that Russia has. So it's good to have company. Do you think France also may be holding that type of initiative when it wants to reestablish itself in Africa?
Well, when it comes to the U.S., no African country has asked the U.S. to remove its troops from their country. I mean, the U.S. has a military base in Ghana, right? And I think one or two other countries, the AMISOM, okay? But in the case of France, look, France was a colonial power of Burkina Faso and Mali. France sent troops to Mali and Burkina Faso to help those countries fight jihadist attacks, right? But these two countries asked French troops to leave. In fact, it was only last week that the French troops in Burkina Faso left. Last year, Mali also asked the French troops to leave, and they left. So it is different. U.S. is going in, is offering investment, increased trade, to Africa just to counter the Chinese, or maybe the Chinese influence in Africa, or maybe the Russian influence in Africa. And no African country has asked Americans to leave their territories.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. That's Jonathan Offei-Ansah, publisher at Africa Briefing.